Here we go. We come back again to the Chef Phant. As I promised, I'm going to do the classic, one of the famous classical Thai cooking. This is the original recipe, the Thai fried spring roll. This is a Thai fried spring roll, which is we could do go from the scratch. So now everybody will know how to do them. Easy, simple, but step and sequential is very important because how to handle the ingredients and balancing the taste, what to serve for, what to do, what not to do. This is really technical cooking, but when you get a hand of it, you have the total command of it because this is how we do them in a restaurant or for your family, because you can do it and you can freeze it. Okay, you can keep it for a long time. So right now I'm going to show you the ingredient, what the thing to do and not to do in this cooking. Okay, this is recipe. First thing I'm going to go from the thing that you pick. Okay, this is, they call silver noodle, but see, they have in English they call bean thread, but in Thai they call sen wong ron. It's a little bit different, but usually in Thailand they say they have Thai language right in it. It's a Thai alphabet right in it. It's called sen wong ron, but this is pretty much it's similar, very close to Thailand, and it is good enough to use it. And this is another brand that they call butterfly brand. It is made in China. It's almost similar, but they didn't call it green bean. They call something else, the bean, something that they make it. It's almost similar because they have more concentration of mung beans in there. Okay, and this is when you do them. See, this is what I do. This is after you soak it in warm water, not hot water. Okay, if you use the hot water, they start cooking. It's not good for this dish because you're going to fry them, and then after that you roll it, and then you're going to fry them again. And then sometimes if you put it in the water, they swallow up. That means it's not too good. You want it to be stinky like this, it's tight like that. This is my nail. Have fun with it. I pound it on my nail itself. So this one still have elastic, you see that? So if you already overcook, don't do it for this because everything will become soggy, because you have to drain all the water out, you see that? After you soak in the warm water, you can do the tap water there and let it soak. When it's soft, use the scissor and cut like this 3-4 times and then go this way. So this means you get about that side like this, so that they don't cook it a long time. Okay, now I'm going to go into the skin. Okay, I'm going to move this away a little bit. Here the skin that they do in the spring roll. This is pretty much a lot of Thai people use them, and it's from Singaporean they're making it. So it's like a little bit thinner. Okay, we're going to use some of it. We're going to prove it which one is the best one to go. But usually this is a restaurant, and there be a lot of restaurants using it. This is all have wheat. Okay, and that is made in USA. It's pretty much another spring roll. That another skin different. This is thinner, a little bit thicker, and this is much more thicker. This is still made in the USA, but this is like a Filipino version of the Chinese Filipino versions. And then that I call the lap. This is a lot of restaurants using this because they're thicker, easy to roll. Okay, and if you are gluten-free, now the new version of this gluten-free. Oh, by the way, all these things have to be, you buy them frozen, and then before you use, you have to let it cool down. It's soft. Okay, and this version, this gluten-free, this is the new thing that come out by the Three Lady Band, and this is, you don't need to do refrigerator. So it's like a rice sticker, but I have never done this, so I will use this screen so we can prove 4 of these screen which one is the best. Okay, after we finish that, and we're going to wrap up with that thing too. Now we're going to go to the main ingredient. So the first thing we're going to do is now cabbage. Okay, the cabbage, what you do, you peel the cabbage out like this, every one of them, and you see the center part here. You don't want that hard because when you fry, when you do things, it's not too good. So you can cut them out and like that, or you can put it the knife, something like that. See, this is part that you don't want to use because it gets harder and difficult to do. You want only the leaf like this. So this is what I sliced it for. So you can use scissors, you can use the knife, you can cut them small little pieces like that. See that? So this is what you're going to do, and then you get all these things. Okay, that's how you deal with the cabbage. Don't slice them fine, because when you fry it, it will fall apart. Like this, it will give you a texture and still contain the bitterness. Okay, the next one is the carrot. Okay, carrot, the same thing. This is the best tool you can do. You can use this for papaya salad. Also you see the thread, it curved. Okay, all you have to do, this is, I already shred most of it. So you have this is the carrot. So you peel it, right? And then you start doing it by pulling like this. So you get this one like that. So don't put it too hard. When you put it too hard, it kind of become like this. It stick together. Just go lightly like that. See, my helper, she can do that all day, so like that. But you come out, see, like to wear like this. It's the same thing as you shred the papaya. This is the best tool for Thai cooking. Okay, and it cost, I think, $2.50 from the Thai grocery store. Everybody using this now, because if you use the fancy one, they're not doing well, because if you're going to cut your fingers like this, they won't. Okay, and another thing that we have it for you. Okay, this is the radish. This is the traditional Thai spring roll. It have to have in it, because that is going to give you the real bitterness and the real texture that make you really mouthful in here, because this is the key. So the same thing, we use that, and you can shred it like this, the same way. Okay, because this has a lot of water, concentration of water, because this is a daikon, it's a Chinese radish. So we use them a lot in Thai cooking. So, and this is called for because it gives the texture, and it keeps different. Okay, I'm going to cut it that much. So right now, what we have to do with this, because this one, I'm going to keep that, you put the salt in there. To the probably good 2 tablespoons of salt. And now what you want to do, you put your finger in there, you're going to squeeze this. Okay, let you squeeze, make sure you mix real good. You want to draw the water out of this radish. Okay, by the time you get ready to fry, okay, you have to rinse them with the water to get the salt out. But right now you start seeing the water drawing out. That's the beauty of the salt, to get the water out of the radish. Okay, now I'm going to put this away, and then we're going to go into the sauce. So let's refresh it. We have cabbage, right? We have carrot, we have daikon, and we have the silver noodle. That's the main key. Okay, now I'm going to put this away, and then come back talking about the sauce and the thing that you making sauce for stir fry and the sauce for the dipping. Okay, the 2 more main ingredients that we're going to use, this is the ground pork, and this is the chopped shrimp. You chop them with a chunk like that. So you don't grind them. If you grind them, they will look like this. It doesn't have the flavor and have difficulty to to make the stuffing, because if you shrink it so much and then you don't taste any shrimp. Okay, you want it to be chunk, and then you grind that. Okay, now we're going to fry it. Okay, after we adjust, then we come back. This is the sauce that we're going to use, okay, to balance the taste. Oyster sauce, fish sauce, sugar, okay? And now we're going to stir fry with the garlic and then the white pepper. The white pepper is the key, okay, to make everything stand out, to get your mouth full on that with the garlic and pepper, okay? That is for stir fry. Now we could do right now. After we fry the ingredient, the stuffing. Now this is the classic to making the dipping sauce. Okay. The dipping sauce. This is the white vinegar, water. Almost the same amount, okay? And this is the garlic, pickled garlics, okay? Let me show you what it look like. They did the pickled garlics, see this what it look like. So you use the water of it and a few garlic, and you can blend it, but if you don't want it, you don't have to, okay? But you need it. It gives you another punching of the sour and have a little bit of aromatic. So then that is the chili, the ground chili. I show you what it is. I don't, whatever the brand, I don't care. But if you can find it, you can use it. Okay, they call pig dang dong bot. That means they've, the pickle this and then they grind it. They pickle with vinegar and they grind it, and then you can use it. This is like a sambal, The Indonesia, Malaysia, but the Thai had its own version, because some do have garlic, some don't, but this version have no garlic. Okay, and it's the best to do the sauce. Okay, now we have salt, sugar, and this is because the sauce itself, it doesn't get thickening. So you want thickening. This is not the cornstarch. This is tapioca starch. Okay, tapioca flour, you make the starch to make it thickening. So we're going to do this after we finish frying, to let it set until it cool, and then you make the sauce, and after that we're going to start rolling. Okay, when we have enough rolling, then we're going to fry them and taste it with the sauce, and to see how the skin, which one is the best one. Where I found right now, we have 4 versions. Okay, now we're going to start frying. Okay, we're going to come back with the fry. Here how we start with the stuffing. Okay, you see, let's review the ingredient again. Here it is: cabbage, carrot, silver noodle. This is daikon with the salt. Now I'm squeeze all the water out, and by that you see have something wet in there. So we're going to squeeze them out a little bit before we put it in there. So now it's the shrimp and pork, and these are garlics and oyster sauce, fish sauce, sugar, and white pepper. We don't use a lot of sugar, but I put in there just in case. We have to balance the taste. Okay, now I got my, okay, you use the medium heat to start with. Okay, we're going to put the oil in here because the thing is heated up now. So we're going to put the garlic in there. Okay, you start with create aroma and flavor. Okay, the garlic. That's how the garlic works. When it starts flying blind like that, now we can put the pork in there. This is how you cook them. Okay. You see that? Less oil, not a lot of oil, and then the pork have to cook first. Okay. Make sure you put the step sequence right. The pork going first, garlic, pork. Okay. So that when the pork starts turn white, so that the lead is disappear. Make sure that they partially cook before you can go to the next step. Okay. Now you need to heat that up a little more. Okay. Now the next thing what you want to do, you want to put a vegetable in there. You put the cabbage in first. Because the cabbage takes a little bit longer than the carrot. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is seem to be a lot, and it will come down smaller. So I make it a lot so I can freeze it after I finish it, or a lot of my friends like to eat just the stuffing. Okay, and you can use the stuffing to do something else. So one of the things I will do that with the stuffing. This is a byproduct of this. Okay. Make sure now I'm going to increase the heat to high. So then I don't burn anything with that pork. I have to just make sure that I spread it out. When the cabbage begin to soften, then we can put the carrot in there. So that the color starts changing, it starts getting brighter. See the cabbage getting greener. So now we're going to put the carrot in there. Okay. That's a lot of carrot, but it's going to go soften that. That's why you use two to get it that way. So in the restaurant, you cook it a lot of it bigger pot than this, but make sure you have to have it dry so you stir, constantly stir them. So the bottom don't burn. Okay, you know, getting looking better and better and better. You know, you have to do one step at a time, okay? Because if you put everything all at once, it will become mushy. Okay, you lost the texture. You know? Looking good already. See the shrimp, I haven't done anything with the shrimp. Okay, because we have to go in almost last. Because if you go in right now, the shrimp will bound and the texture will be off. Okay. With no water, almost no water. That's what you want. If you have a lot of water running, that means you screw up something. So make sure no water. Take them out. Okay. You have not balancing the taste, nothing. It's just all the ingredients working with the garlic and cooking oil. Okay, this is canola. Okay, now what we want to do, we're going to put the cabbage in here. This is not the cabbage. This is the radish, daikon. You know, put it in there like this. If you have some moisture, it's okay. I rinse the salt out already and squeeze a lot of water out. About 3 times the water is changing. So make sure they're not salty. Okay, if you don't rinse the salt out, it becomes salty. Okay, now you see more color going in there. It's beautiful within itself. Okay. See that? Make sure they mix together pretty well. So we haven't balancing the taste yet. Okay. See that? Because they have a high enough, they're still hot. If they stop, it can become more. You lose some volume here. See that? Now, this is what you want to put in there. You see that after all this mixes up real good, this is the silver noodle. See? If you make it with the hot water, it already pop up and cook, it won't absorbing the sauce. Okay? We still have trim to do before we balancing the taste. So, just be patient, slowly going. Okay? Make sure when everything is mixed together and hot enough, so we're going to put the trim in there. And stir a little bit and then balance the taste. Why we're doing this way? Because we want to control the water concentrations and make sure the flavor is exchanging, absorbing, discharging. Okay? And now you see the more, now you start seeing more moisture coming. See that? It's looking good. Now what you want to do, you want to spread it out in the middle. See that? You see a little bit of water coming out because of more from the silver noodle and more from the daikon. Okay. Now I put the trim in there. Okay, in the center. So I stir it a little bit. Make sure the trim is, not too partially hit the hot part. Now I would stir it. Okay. Now spread more out because I want the trim to have the texture. It's not become taste like a rubber. Okay, you're maintaining the character of the trim. Okay, when you sunk your teeth in, you should taste the trim. Okay, right now you see that. Okay. So see, now we're going to balance the taste. So white pepper, I like a lot of pepper here because it's a lot of things. It's a good cake. Then I do with sauce, 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Oyster sauce, this is about 3 tablespoons. This is just the amount. So, and then the sugar, I'm going to put 1 teaspoon, 2, 3 spoons for now. Okay. Now I do have pepper left, so I'm going to put some of it up. See right now, see you got all the flavor going there. Now we going to make the flavor go everywhere. And you see the trim start cooking. You see the color changing from the trim. So this way you got the trim to cook perfectly. Otherwise, you got the trim. It tastes like a rubber if you overcook the trim. See that? It's easy and simple, but you have to know them how to do them. Okay? You know how to do the step and sequential. It's important for this dish. Okay, this is classical Thai cooking. And your host is Chef Phant. Did you like the way I do things? I had a lot of things in the classical Thai cooking channel, like you do the pad Thai sauce, how you do them effectively. You do Penang curry, 3-way of Penang curry, 3-way of how to do the pad kapao, 2-way of how we do green curry, and then 3-way of how we do tom kha gai or tom yam goong. They're all different. Everything is hand-on intuitions. I want to get the people to pay attention to Thai food. It's the best one in town because it's healthy, easy and simple. Okay, this is classical Thai cooking. Here, the thing that we have now, we go to taste. Okay, the taste, it should be, a little bit salty come first. Okay, and then the sweet. That's all it is. So because the sauce and everything else will go. Here it is. Don't go further than that. Then if you fry the shrimp, it cooked. The pork is chopped. Silver noodle is cooked. You see that? They don't go further than that. If you already have cooked, I hate that was the problem. It did it about right. Because you're going to fry them again after you do the stuffing. Turn off the heat. Make sure you take the bottom up and let it cool down. And then we can do the, we can put it in the roll later. After this, I'm going to show you how to make the sauce while we are waiting for it to cool down. Now, we just finished the stir fry, the stuffing. Now we're going to do the dipping sauce. Here it is, the classical Thai cooking, the dipping sauce for the Thai spring roll. So you have the vinegar. So you put the vinegar in there. That's probably equal amount of water. Vinegar and water. That's the equal amount. Now you're going to add the sugar. This is almost vinegar and sugar almost the same amount. Okay. Then you're going to put the salt to bring it down, the sour in it. And now we're going to add more sour in it. This is the garlic, the pickled garlic sauce. And we're going to stir it, okay, like this. Make sure all the sugar is out, melt it, and then we're going to start cooking, okay. See that the sugar is almost out. See this? Okay, now we're going to put in the heat to make it boil. And then after that, we're going to add the chili in there. Then we're going to put tapioca flour, not the flour, you have to make it a water solution like this. You add the water in there to make sure that, like a starch like that. To add in that, make sure it's thickening. So, and then when you do it, make sure you don't pour them all at once. You just have to slowly put it in. Make sure that this is no more lump in there. Okay. Right now we're going to start cooking. See that? We're going to let it cook, and then when it's boiling, really good and reduced, probably 1/8 in an inch. So we're going to put the thickening and the chili in there. So right now, because you already did that, you can, balance the taste with it. So make sure, let me get the something to stir and then we can taste it. See now is everything started caramelizing. You see on the side it start turning yellow. That means darker. It's cooking pretty well, mixed pretty well right now. So all you have to do at this point, taste it. So you want the sour coming first. Okay, the sour coming first, and then sweet. Not the sweet coming first, sour coming first. That's the sour, sweet, and then sour. Okay. Now what I want to do, I want to add the spice. So we did the spice in there. That's the chili that we put in there. If you want more spicy, you put it in there. Okay. After you're doing this, you have to wait until the water is boiling. Okay. Now because it is the temperature going down, take a few minutes to come up, and then you go to thickening. Okay. Make sure that right now if you don't stir, you will see the lump on the bottom. Just stir them real good, waiting for the thing to boil. Okay, that's how you do them. Make sure it's easy, very easy, very simple. When you got the taste already, the spice go in there. See that? See now it's boiling. Okay, we could just start slowly like that. Okay, a little bit more like this first. So make sure they're thickening. Okay, you see that? It's thickening. Sometimes it's too much, the thickening, but this is a little bit too much there. See that? You can put the water in there when you overshot the runway. Make sure you pull it back out. That's how you do the balancing the taste, the technique, the thing, when the thing went wrong, how you correct it. So you need somebody to explain it and not just put everything in there all at once. It's not working. When something went wrong, how do you adjust it? You see that? Okay, this is still like, thickening, still too thick for that. So you see how the thing works now. It slow down the heat a little bit to make sure that it's slowly boiling. You see the thickness, that's what you want, or less thicker than that. See that? See that? That's how the thing should work. Okay, if you make it like a too running water, they're not too good. This is, you can have a little bit of water go in there too. So, okay, right now we're going to taste it again because we changing, because we adjusting too much of the tapioca, starch. So now see that it's the right texture like this. See that? When you go in there and coming down, boop, boop, slowly drop, boom. That's what you need. Now the taste is there. Okay. Now you turn it up and get away from the heat, because otherwise we get thickening more. See, like now, see the taste like this. When they cooler, they go a little bit harder. Okay, and this is the spring roll dipping sauce, classical Thai cooking. Okay, now we're going to roll them and then fry them and then taste it with this sauce. Okay, we have 4 different skin. We're going to fry 4 different sets, and then one of my helper going to tell me how good it is. Okay.